This Bear Execute 32 is going to be kind of deer hunting driven. I'm in Indiana. I don't have any Western archery tags this year. I have, actually, ironically, I have a rifle elk tag for the first time ever. Bear Execute 32. I'm going to deck it out in Trophy Ridge accessories, kind of step by step of how I do it. I don't own a bow shop. I'm not an official, bow tech, I guess. This is how I set my bows up. I'm in my office here at my house. So step one, I put the felt on the prongs here of the launcher. Step two, I have removed the backing of this little piece of felt, and I'm going to put it right here. Now that launcher blade hits this felt, takes away any noise, really quiets it down. Just make sure you're using the arrow that you're actually going to be using with the bow. Different diameter arrows will change a little because they're thicker, so they'll obviously sit a little higher here. So for this bow, I'm going to be using the Easton 4mm FMJs. That's what I have here. Something that's really nice about this Sync MD rest, it is micro adjust. So you loosen this right here, and you have these little micro adjust knobs that you can make slight changes or big changes with, and that is both horizontal and vertical changes. Whenever I set this arrow up, I like to put the center of my shaft center of these burger holes right here. Some people go a little different height-wise one way or the other, but I like for my arrow to sit, if I can get the right angle, I like for it to sit pretty well centered on them burger holes. So I now have my launcher blade up to where I think should be right. And now what I do, I know that my string is still level this way, so I can move my level to actually make a clamp-on level for arrow shafts. I've lost it, and I can pull it up to where now my arrow is level, so that means my arrow is sitting at a 90-degree angle from my string. You can mark top and bottom of your nock. I know right here is the 2 points that I want to tie my little nock points on. I just use serving. I tie a very small knot. I don't do anything big and bulky, and I don't do it so tight that it will actually pinch the nock. You want just a little bit of wiggle room. We now have our nock point set. We have our elevation set on the rest, so that gives us the height I want as far as lined up with my burger holes. Now I'm going to adjust my center shot, or my left and right, or windage, some will call it, of the rest. One way you can do this is basically, like I use a little arrow square. You can use like a little small tape measure or whatever. You can measure the front of the riser right here to center a shaft, and you can measure the back, and that will tell you if that arrow is running true with the riser or not, and you can adjust the rest accordingly. The other thing, and I did this for years with no problem, you can actually line your string up with center of your riser, and you can look down your shaft. I can tell you right now, and this is going to get me extremely close without really having to do much, I have to move this rest in a lot. I did this for years and never measured a single thing. Now I know that that should be pretty well true, because dead center of my riser is my string, and that arrow actually blends in right in line with the string. So now that we have this whole rest set up here, now comes time to actually tie this to the down cable. Some guys argue you need to really split the cable, put it through. I have a bow press right there. But for these cable driven rests, I generally don't even split the cables anymore. I used to all the time. Now I serve them down, and I have yet to have one come loose. So off camera, I actually just drew the bow, let this kind of slide through where it needed to be. It pulled the rest up to the raised position. Now I will just tighten this side screw back down. Then I'll just take a little bit of serving and serve that down. So step one's complete. We have the Trophy Ridge Sync MD rest on the Bear Execute 32. So now that the rest is done, I can really start to build out from here. This is probably the most time-consuming process on putting a bow in my opinion. This is video one. Hopefully I can keep it pretty reasonable so we can throw it up on Instagram. As I build this bow out, I'm gonna do some more videos, and we'll post them up as we go.